Hey guys, you've probably already noticed that of all the Dragon Ball YouTubers on here, I've never really reviewed each individual episode of Super. And by never really, I mean I never did, like ever. And seeing as we are already years into Super's episodic run, I don't expect you to sit through 76 10-minute reviews of episodes you've already seen the reviews for. Then I stumbled upon this channel called Jello Apocalypse. And besides possibly having the best channel name in existence, he caught my attention with one video in particular. That being every Disney film reviewed in 10 words or less, where he reviewed 60 Disney films rapid fire within 10 words or less. So naturally I thought, that's a great idea for a video and it solved my problem of how to catch up with all those other pesky Dragon Ball YouTubers. As of making this video, there are currently 76 Dragon Ball Super episodes available for my viewing pleasure. All scores will be whole numbers out of 10, which means there will be no numbers like 9.5. And there might be a negative score or two. Now that doesn't mean that it's worse than a 0 out of 10, no. Instead, it measures its ironic enjoyment. Nothing in my opinion is worse than boring. So if an episode has spawned enjoyment from ripping on how terrible it is, then terrific! That means it qualifies for negative scoring because you can make fun of it. And sometimes that's more fun than just a boring episode. These scores will take into account all aspects of the show, including but not limited to visuals and narrative. Now that that's out of the way, let's review every Dragon Ball Super episode in 10 words or less. What? Is this real? Is this actually happening? Ah, yes! Missed opportunity for Vegeta to wear a certain pink shirt. Frieza vs Goku flashback, now with gorgeous modern animation techniques. Goten, Trunks, and peel off filler nonsense. Repeat for 12 minutes. Pretty much the reason I have any subscribers at all. Emotional flashbacks make Beerus a more credible and rich character. Vegeta's power up from Battle of Gods, now with no budget. Rock, paper, stall for Goku. Hey, Vidal's a Super Saiyan, said way too many people. Watching Goku learn to harness his new abilities is fun. A huge improvement on animation, suspense, and action. There's definitely a fisting joke here somewhere. Mr. Satan's the bravest character in this arc. The movie might have looked better, but this fight is just better. Because of one joke, I now love this episode. Excellent character acting make for exceptional episodes. Huh. Oh yeah! Hilarious and totally underappreciated, I loved everything about this episode. Easily the most terrifying interpretation of hell I've ever seen. Huh. I didn't know Jocko worked in episode 24. Frieza represents the arc. Togama represents the viewer's attention span. That moment you realize Ginyu's the most inspirational character. The most unenthusiastic, boring murder I've ever seen. Shit. Okay, this feels like a personal attack on my integrity. Frieza's not the only one getting tired of this. Whis' do-over means there's an alternate timeline, where Frieza wins! Tournament? 12 universes? Fuck. Bulma's a sister? Yeah, okay. You can't spell recap without Bulma's boobs or Super Dragon Balls. Which will you remember? What has beards and evil Winnie the Pooh? This episode. Wait, no, okay. What? Oh, I get it. Frost's an asshole. And he's gone. Hey, look, a robot. It's always great to see the final flash. Fun episode full of great character moments for Vegeta. Why has no one mentioned his head's a giant penis? Important episode that reminded us why we watched this show. I forgot that this was basically a tournament for food. Poor animation ruins what could have been a huge moment. Really fun episode with surprise Beerus rematch. Goku lost his key? How will he ever get in? It's mini-arc time! I for one welcome our new Jolita Overlord. Funny, touching, and much better than Golden Frieza's fight. One of the best Dragon Ball episodes ever made. 1000 minus... carry the... Just go back to the fight, man. I guess you could say Trunks missed the point. Spontaneous interdimensional time vortexes. Cutting great moments short since if bullets did nothing to Raditz, what's it like for Black? That moment, the crushing disappointment of Gohan hits you. Zamasu, the story of the barista that became Space Hitler. Let me help you, son. Plows face into the ground. God, I love this little shit. How does Super Saiyan Rose work? Who cares? It's awesome! Exciting, suspenseful, and really polished episode. Also GodTube. Step 1 for good Feng Shui. Put table middle. Holy crap! When Beerus turns it on, it's on! Bulma's dinner parties really put the Last Supper to shame. Probably the best transformation since Dragon Ball Z. Mafuba's cool, but didn't deliver in the last episode's climax. Polished with epic moments, but Mai's plan is so dumb. Trunks, you have the power. Holy shit, he actually does! Apparently beams only work if you're the main protagonist. The amount of pure action this episode has is astounding. Unexpectedly somber end to a really fun arc. Quirky little episode where Bulma gives Beerus and Whis crabs. Goku would totally kick Saitama's ass. Right, guys? That empty void in my life has suddenly been filled. Wait, what? Goku's dead? Oh, he's not. Neat. I can show you the world. Shining, shimmering, splendid. Quickly, Great Saiyaman, stop Eddie Brock, Barry Khan.
Daddy, why are you a bitch?
Shingeki no Dragon Ball. And that's all of them as of recording this video. Now naturally, I don't expect you to want to go back through this list to see which ones are the best and the worst. So here are my top and bottom 5 Dragon Ball Super episodes. Top 5. Number 5. Episode 57. This is the kind of episode that will bring a smile to your face, featuring the best animation of this arc. It brings tons of action with our main characters either down or cornered, and it never leaves you waiting for something to happen, unless what you're waiting for is nothing. Number 4. Episode 18. Presenting possibly the funniest episode in the series, this one follows Goku and Vegeta as they train together with Whis in an assortment of different and fun scenarios. It's a shame this is buried in an arc that almost everyone will skip because it's easily one of the best. Number 3. Episode 39. This is the episode that turns the awesome from 10 to 25, featuring the climax to the tournament. No, Monaka doesn't count. Bringing fanfictions across the world to life, Goku uses the Kaioken in tandem with his Super Saiyan Blue form, delivering a moment no Dragon Ball fan will ever forget. Number 2. Episode 66. Described by many as the best looking episode in Dragon Ball history, this behemoth of an episode crams 2 battles into its runtime and acts as the climax to the arc, featuring the return of Vegito, briefly, and a spirit sword wielded by Trunks. Does it make sense? Of course not, but look, pretty pictures! And the number 1 best episode so far goes to episode 47. Haunting new scores accompany a darker plotline that delivers an intense episode, following up for the first time in the series with future Trunks as he flees an imposing, shadowy figure. This was exactly the kind of episode Dragon Ball Super needed when it came out. The visuals, stunning. The narrative, captivating, and the stakes were extremely high. If you're unsure about checking out Super or know someone who's on the fence, I can't recommend a single episode more. It's that good. But who cares about the best of anything, right? If my worst video, my worst moments video is anything to go by, people only really want to know how horrible something is, because nothing's more fun than basking in the abuse of someone else's content. So here we go, the bottom 5. Number 5, episode 4. This guy avoids criticism by existing next to the meme factory that is episode 5, and while it largely looks better, that's where the pros end. At least episode 5 continued the narrative. This serves only to pad out a story that desperately needed more character development. More than the Pilaf gang looking for food anyway. Number 4, episode 12. Hey, you guys want to know what filler in a fight looks like? This. Amidst the battle of the gods comes this wonderful little gem of an episode, featuring key dragons and fist clashes between Goku and Beerus that threaten to shatter the entire universe. And I know what you're thinking. Well, that's dumb and doesn't make sense at all. Number 3, episode 25. Filled with absolutely nothing original except bad art, animation, and a fight that feels longer than the first even though it's a fraction of its length, this episode offers nothing except a new form of cruel and unusual torture. Number 2, episode 30. This is one of those recap episodes, but the biggest difference is that it covers events that literally just happened. This is an episode that exists purely to give the animators breathing room to make the next episode. A couple of scenes here and there with Goku and Vegeta keep this from being a 1 out of 10. And the absolute worst episode is episode 24. This is the absolute worst of the worst. When I think of a bad or downright terrible Dragon Ball installment, this abortion of an episode springs to mind. Episode 5 spawned some hilarious spoofs and had undeniably, albeit brief, great moments. This episode arguably looks worse, and the only thing you've realized is that you've wasted 22 minutes of your life watching 2 scribbles clumsily stumble their way through a narrative, forcing you to question, why are you even watching this in the first place?